The demand for group and private events is at an all-time high. Is your business ready to capitalize on all these opportunities? With Restaurant as your booking partner, you can ensure event success this year and beyond.
With no booking fees or commissions, Restaurant has helped over 2,000 restaurants, bars, and breweries reach local event planners who are looking for a space for their next gathering. Whether it's a birthday, anniversary, graduation, or corporate event, Restaurant will get your space booked.
Try it today and receive 3 months completely risk-free by signing up at restaurant.com/podcast. That's restaurant.com/podcast.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claudia Sarek.
And I'm Spencer Michael.
And this is So You Want to Run a Restaurant, created by the team at backofhouse.io, the most trusted resource for restaurant tech. Okay, everyone, today we have a first for the show. A private chef, Alfredo Arcobelli, is joining us, and this isn't your usual restaurant story.
Yeah, this is the kind of gig where he's cooking for clients in their homes for their events, their lifestyle, basically designing a full experience. And if you ever thought, could I actually do this? This episode is exactly for you.
Seriously, we're diving into what it really takes to become a private chef, how you find clients without having a huge social media following, and the mindset shifts that need to happen to go from cooking in the back to being front and center private chef in someone's home.
Yeah, so if you're dreaming about this as a career or just curious about, how you might want to get into this, stick around because there's going to be some great tips. Alfredo, thank you for being here. Officially, you're living as a private chef and you're living the private chef dream. How did you actually get started? I want to hear the origin story and how you got into this private chefing situation that you're in.
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you guys for having me on your podcast. Spencer,
Yeah.
Claudia, you're amazing. Now, I'm born and raised in Italy. I started cooking when I was a kid. I actually baked my first loaf when I was 6, 7 years old.
Wow.
Funny, in
Oh,
the
wow.
country with my grandma, I'm down in Puglia, right at the heel of the boot. And cooking is basically our culture. Like, we cook every day, all day. It's funny because in the South, we have on Sundays, Sunday lunches, Sunday dinners. We have a few relatives over, about 50, 60 people. So it's basically a
Just a
restaurant.
few.
Just a couple.
Relatives,
Yeah.
between
Okay.
cousins and uncles and aunts, and that's how
Yeah.
it works. When I got to America in 2018, I was serving. I was like, people are eating in an hour and a half. They're ordering a steak and they're in and
Yeah.
out. I'm like, an hour? I'm just done with nibbling on the first appetizer. I mean, what's going on around here?
Yeah. We're at the crudité. We're just at the crudité. We're not even at the main.
Well, suits
Yeah,
you.
and the
It's fine
soup.
with me. So moving forward, my family then had a restaurant on the beach. I always worked at the restaurant. Now, the restaurant job is not like everybody has a job. You're just part of the family. So you do everything. So from the
Right.
busboy to captain to taking orders, to washing dishes, to making pizzas, to going on the line with the chef, collecting payments. We don't have the POS that gets to the table. We still have a piece of paper. You go to the cash register and you have to pay cash, please. Okay. So I never left the industry. Then in 2018, things were going well in Italy. And my mom is from Chicago. Sicilian family, Sicilian and Persian. So I was like, God, I was born with a double citizenship. And I'm like, I'm just going over there. I'll try things. I bought a one-way ticket and I just flew to America with one suitcase and no money to eat or rent or anything. I had a friend who
Wow.
hosted
Oh,
me
my
and
goodness.
fed me. Yes, I came with the American dream, but I came with passion. I
Right.
came with what I love doing. And you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to share my culture with everybody.
Nice.
My
Perfect.
recipes. That's what I wanted to do. So I started working right away, 3 jobs, serving at a restaurant. That was the most that kind of kept me going in the industry. And then I had my private events anyway. Then the pandemic hit and everybody thought, oh, it's the end of the world. And I said, no, it's an opportunity now.
Yeah. Good for you.
Because everything
just the
in
beginning.
corporate shut down, everybody slowed down. So I was always making pasta and bread, and I make my limoncello too. So I was just
I
giving it to
love the
people.
limoncello.
Oh my God, yes!
goodness.
And
The
my recipe
homemade is the way to go.
fire. Yes, and I was making limoncello spritzes for people and stuff. It's crazy. But anyway, pandemic hit. I was, making pasta and bread and limoncello for people. And then everybody started saying, oh, but they were complaining, what's going on? I can't go to the restaurant. I can't wait for the world to start over. And that's when I thought, wait a minute. You still want to have fun. You want to party. I was in South Beach, let me tell you. Pandemic was a little different over there, okay? But I was like, okay, listen, I'll bring the restaurant to your house. I'll bring the restaurant to your house as long as y'all get tested. You're okay.
Hmm.
You have as many friends as you want. I cook, I clean, I do the wine pairing if you want. We'll do a little extra for the wine pairing. Otherwise, you drink whatever you want. It's not a problem for me. You want me to cook extra so you guys can go on partying during the night? You got the chef. I clean the kitchen, I leave you food, and I bounce. And that's how it all
So it was like a
started.
one-off. It was a one-off experience at first where you would come in and you do just for a weekend. It wasn't an ongoing
Yeah,
private chef
even one
one
evening. And
evening.
then people were like, you know what? We're lazy. Usually couples, how many times a week? And this is crazy in America. How many times a week couples go out to the restaurant? Let's say before, maybe two, three times, four times, depending,
Yeah, it's
on
a
your
lot.
budget. But you go a lot. So I would go even for couples and say, hey, listen, Alfredo, why don't you come over? You make some dinner for us. And plus, I'm Italian. Look at this. I talk with my hands. They wanted the show. I was making the pasta, throwing around, and they had fun. They loved it.
Hmm.
And I love doing it because that's who I am. So I was invited to Chicago for an event in March 2021. And I never saw Chicago. My mother was born and raised here. Then she moved to Italy. And I remember I spent 4 days at the event. I was walking around the city. I went to the Art Institute. I was alone. I
That's
look
fun.
around and I say, do you know what came to mind? You remember Frank Sinatra's song, My Kind of Town, Chicago?
Of course.
Of
That came
course.
to my head. And I was like, guys, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. And
Wow.
I'm like, I'm moving to Chicago. I was working for the Kimpton hotels then. So I asked for relocation. There was
Yeah.
an opening downtown Chicago.
Hmm.
I rented a car, picked all my stuff, drove in 3.5 days, and here I am. So then, when I was in Chicago, still working in restaurants, serving, having private events. And then one of my clients that was in Miami back and forth on vacation, I work for very different people, very important and even humble. And this person is very important. He's in the food industry,
Hmm.
food brokerage, and they work to make the most nutritious meals in the country. I get to work now with the best brands in the United States, and I started working for this person. Now it's been over 2 years, where we organize meetings, big events, private events, the family meals. And I don't get to work in a basement locked up in four dark walls. I work in a
Right.
huge, beautiful mansion, all open windows. And there's a pool, there's a spa.
You
I
cracked the code.
The guy
You like,
loves me,
oh my
but
goodness.
I every day go there. There's ups and downs. Hey, listen, there's it's everything that can be bad, nice or not. Not every day can be shiny, but I go there every day with the same passion, with the same love with
Good.
what I do, and sharing things. And when I see something, people are surprised. They're like, "Oh, but what do we do with this?" Or it's almost gone. It's almost rotten. If it's not rotten, we can still have it. And that's where my grandma kicks in. And I love living my grandma every day again. When I came to America, I wanted to share my food, my
Hmm.
clean, organic, non processed, non salty, natural fats. That was the most important thing to me. I remember going to the grocery store and asking, oh, listen, where's the bread? In Italy, you go to the grocery store, there's a little bakery. They're baking fresh bread. And I see this aisle full of, I'm sorry, like sponge that had a 2-year expiration date.
Yeah.
I was like,
There's no
no,
way. There's no way that's
no,
true.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. Where's the flour? Give me the flour. And then we cook. In Italy, we have 30 different kinds of flour we cook with. And here we have whatever, another growing, okay? But in my own house, I have 9 different flours I cook with.
Hmm.
I was like, no, I need this flour.
Wow.
I look at the protein. I look at this. I look at all the elements that determine this flour. And then, okay, this grows, this won't grow. And then that's how I started. And I'm here now. I love what I do. And I still have my private events because I use the house.
The hospitality industry has adopted technology at lightning speeds over the last few years. And while that's improved discoverability, operations, and overall efficiency, it also means when something breaks, your in-house team is usually the one troubleshooting it.
Enter Science on Call, the only human-first AI support company designed specifically for hospitality tech.
They combine smart operations with real restaurant and hospitality expertise, and they can support your entire tech stack: POS, online ordering, kiosks, loyalty, printers, Wi-Fi, all of it.
Science on Call removes friction from the day-to-day so your team can stay focused on the customer experience. experience. Less technology failure during service means less revenue walking out the door.
To learn more, visit scienceoncall.com/BOH.
The prep, that's my huge kitchen for prep. I get organized, cater, weddings, mostly dinners, engagement parties, and then, maybe classes. I do classes, cooking classes for couples that are very relaxing. And that's what cooking is,
Yeah. I love how
having fun.
passionate you are about it. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
this
it's
is
my
all a
life.
part of you. This is your heart and soul.
Yeah, it's my entire life. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have one client, like one primary client right now, and then you do a
Yes.
lot of other events on the side? Okay. So if somebody was looking, let's say somebody's interested in this and they say, I want to be a private chef one day, or I'm kind of looking into this industry thinking this is the direction I want to go. What advice would you give to them if they were first starting off? Is it to find just one person, or how did you find your client?
Word to mouth.
Word of mouth. Okay.
You have to go from word to mouth. And you also, so you can't be shy about talking and expressing your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Passion is a feeling. You have to
Mm-hmm.
open your heart. There are people who are very introvert and it's hard for them to talk about things and to express. I know chefs that are excellent, amazing, but
Yeah.
they don't want to talk to people. They just want to be in the back of the house. Don't talk to me. I'm just there, and they're
Food
grumpy.
makes sense. Recipes make sense. People don't make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we're human beings. Okay, food is a living being. We need flexibility to us as human beings. We need flexibility to all living beings. Okay, so sometimes the food that comes in and you're cooking is not what you're expecting, and so leading to this, if you get to a house and it's not what you're expecting, the kitchen. How many times I get to a house and the stove is not gas and it's
That was going
electric?
to be one of my questions about the
Yeah.
equipment. That's as
I'm like,
somebody
"Yeah,
you
but
cook
told me
professionally.
Yeah, and I said, you told me that this, because I usually do a walkthrough, like a FaceTime,
Okay.
because experience
Before
the
you
first time.
you take on the client.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so
Okay.
either they have to take pictures of their pots and pans or
Okay.
the
That's
whole kitchen. Yeah, because I'm gonna
That's
bring my
interesting,
own
yeah.
stuff. Oh, I bring my own stuff otherwise, like, hey,
Oh,
listen,
100%.
I'm invited to friends for to eat. I bring my own food. So you imagine to a client if I don't bring my own,
Guess that makes sense though, because you're so used to using your own tools, and that's how you know when something's done, when it's finished, how long to cook it. And like you
It's
said,
good.
just the difference between a gas and electric stove changes the
It affects
nature
the
of the
outcome,
game.
too.
timings, it changes. So the two main things are always temperature and the bite that gives the consistency to what you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
The way the heat comes or the way you're cooking it changes completely because it changes your timings. It changes everything. So if you're planning a meal, let's say a tasting menu has 14 courses and you have to be ready for it because that has to come out at that temperature with, medium rare or whatever. You're like, oh, okay, now this is going to take me 3 times longer. So many things. To people who want to start, yes, okay, social media. You have to be on social media. And that's one of my things that I'm having a friend taking care of that. I have my Instagram page, and then they'll start editing. I'm growing on that side. But because I was lucky enough to grow a network of people from word to mouth, okay, and I have regular clients who keep calling back and calling and calling. They're like, hey, Alfredo, I have him on my calendar. Mom's birthday, his daughter's birthday, and whatever. So, yes, they'll go a little on social media.
What about the logistics side? So
Yeah, that was going to be my
it's got to
question.
be hard structuring your time, figuring out your rates, juggling clients. I mean, that has to be overwhelming because you're not just thinking about the food. I think when you're at a restaurant, you're just there, you're the chef, you're there to think about the food. But this is like, you're also the business mind behind this operation, and you're a
Yeah.
one-man show. Like it doesn't sound like you have a team behind you, or
No,
not
I
a like
don't. No, exactly.
social media person, but outside of that. So how did you figure all of that out in the beginning?
Well, with time, you understand what people are requesting, and then you get into they're kind of all requesting the same things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So at a certain point, you have to invest one time, a few hours, and create packages.
Mm-hmm.
Very cheap, or I hate to say cheap, but let's call it cheap,
Tier
medium,
1. Tier 1
expensive.
pricing.
Yeah, exactly. And luxurious. Three, 4 packages with the wine pairings or whatever. So once you create packages with appetizer and one main course, appetizer, main course, and dessert. We're having proteins, chicken, fish, egg, lobster. Like, start working on that. So once people say, oh, and I'm having 10 people, and then you quote it, let's say you do from 5 to 10 people, from 10
Sure.
to 20, 20 to 30, and then it depends how big you start growing, okay?
Okay.
So you give pricings and you have a whole Excel file. Remember, restricting somebody, you're risking a positive answer of 25-30%, if not less. If you're giving them options, they will 85% call you and keep calling you back and refer you to somebody else, because then you have to be flexible with, oh, I have allergies. Okay, restrictions are this much per person or whatever. But people will be like, hey, this is a good guy. He's a good person. The experience is nice. The food is clean. And also, besides not being expensive, or it could be expensive, but you chose the expensive one. I
Yeah.
didn't force it on you. It's
Now, how
your
often is it? Because oftentimes the pricing strategy of small, medium, and large to try and drive people to the medium, because the perception of like, well, I don't want to go small, but I don't know if I can do the large. But is that part of it too? Do you kind of slot in what you think they should do in that medium spot, and if they go for the luxurious, well, hey, even better. But I know you're not going to choose the small.
Spencer's already figured out the business
Oh
plan.
yeah, and anyway, you need to figure out where you want to go, what actually you want to get.
Yeah.
So based on the price, you said less than this with this protein or with this menu, I'm not willing to cook for you. You always raise it 30%. So if I want to earn,
Nice.
if I want to earn $600, I'll shoot $900.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
plus
that's
tip
a good
or
tip.
whatever. I always do it, or you can do that plus tip. What happens is that people will say, well, I would really like that. Can we talk about, reaching an agreement? And then you always say, hey, we're open to anything. And then you say, well, okay, what were you thinking? And then they can give you a price. And then with that price, you say, okay, with that price, I can do this and this. It's less job for you, but you're still getting the client and you're getting the money that you wanted for the higher menu, but working less now, because you're like, hey, okay, I got to reduce the price. I have to do something less for you. Remember, there's a lot of time behind a private cook and private chef. Like, if I'm making pasta, if I'm baking focaccia, if I'm baking the bread, those are hours that I'm putting in.
Yeah.
People are not paying. People are saying, oh, but I just spent $1,500 and I had bruschetta and lasagna. And yeah, I made the pasta, I pulled the sheets, I pre-boiled it, I made the bolognese, I made
It's
the
all the prep.
bechamel.
Yeah.
It's the prep that people don't understand. So give yourself a value of how much you're worth by the hour. Try to
Great
create
advice.
a reasonable package. That, and also remember, planning is always key to success. If you just playing it by ear every time, playing it by ear is gathering the experience. Maybe Chicago's a different industry than Oklahoma. I don't know. It's so different than any other city. So if you plan and sit and say, okay, I'm working with these people, I'm in this city, what do I source for the best price, best quality, best price? Okay, I can work with this. I can work with that. Always plan. Sit down and plan. Remember, I always say something. So can I use this? I fuck so many times. That's how I learned.
Is there something you learned the hard way? Like, that's what I wanted to kind of ask, is if someone's wanting to get in and be a private chef, maybe they work in a restaurant right now, or they're coming out of culinary school and they want to is there something from the profit and loss, from the logistics of it, that you learned the hard way that, man, I wish I knew that going into it, that's something I needed to consider before you did?
Well, yeah. So most people start, especially when they say, oh, we're friends. In business, there's no family and friends.
Yes.
Well, and I would imagine that's a hard line to draw because you're in people's homes. And so it becomes, it's like when you go to a restaurant, there's a transaction there. But when you go into somebody's home, it starts getting more personal. And so I'm sure that's been a lot to navigate as well.
Well, that's why there's always the line, now let's talk business.
Yeah.
You're a friend. I can have drinks with you. Not a problem. When I talk business, we're talking about how I pay my bills. We're talking about how I work, how I have to live, because you have your business and you don't think about it twice when you have to charge somebody if you're a real estate.
So did you have to have these conversations early on about friends and, no brother-in-law pricing is going to happen here?
Always. And people say, but how much is it going to cost me? I said,
go to the website. That's how much it costs.
Yeah, that's how much it's going to cost you. I said, I can make you maybe an extra cake if you want. I can be extra joyous. So, okay, another thing.
Extra joyous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I
Otherwise,
can
I'd be
turn up the
grumpy.
personality a little bit more.
Smiles are free. Smiles are
Otherwise,
free.
something
Right?
nice. It's like, I don't know, like you bring flowers and a bottle of prosecco. You pour a little thing of every, and for a little splash of prosecco with some flowers. It's maybe less than $100, but it's regular clients who are paying very good money. And you're like, hey, okay, so they really appreciate it, and they're like,
It's the
no,
little stuff.
that's my little gift for you,
Yeah.
Or making those cookies, for instance. Do you know how long it takes to make those cookies? Nothing. It really
Yeah.
takes 10 minutes. So I
Yeah.
bring them. They're not expecting desserts. I bring them in a cute little package. I put a ribbon on it and say, hey, listen, tomorrow or tonight, when you want to have a little snack, this is my old grandma's cookies. I made them for you. Boom.
And
Just
these are
leave it
the
like that.
almond cookies, because I think we talked about this before we started recording. These are these almond
These-
cookies that your grandma made in
Yeah.
That
southern
I got
Italy
to
for you.
taste.
Yeah.
Super gluten-free, 3 ingredients, clean, legit.
Yes. Alfredo
Nice.
gifted us with cookies, and so I managed to snag some in Chicago, everyone.
You know what we say in Italy? Go like this. That means good. Good.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about a lot of the dietary restrictions, and I'm wondering how much do you have to get into that with clients? Because I feel like, as a private chef, like you are serving a different kind of clientele, and I would imagine on like the health, the wellness, like dairy-free, gluten-free, all of the little specialty things. So how do you handle that?
Well, I'm lucky because that's literally my job at
Yeah.
where I work, at my client.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for years, and the flexibility, the flexibility skill that I developed in working over there, working with good ingredients, especially, that is not a hard thing for me. If I would say, depending on the amount of restrictions you have, I always plate it. I make one plate separate for the restriction.
Okay.
And I always either serve them before so they don't feel like out of place. Because if you serve everybody, let's say it's a plated, it's not family style, it's not buffet, it's plated. You serve everybody, and they would say, oh, no, wait a minute, I'll bring yours because I have the restriction. No, 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 no. Make them feel special. Make them say, hey,
Yeah.
listen, I made this special for you. Okay. Don't say, oh, because of your restrictions. I made this specifically for you. It's something special. You can have it. It's safe for you. And then you serve everybody else. Restrictions is always something. The line is very, very hard. Like people will tell you they're allergic to garlic because they don't like it. And I'm like, well, if you're asking me for a marinara, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Is it a preference? Is it an actual allergy? Is it an intolerance? Yeah, there's a lot of lines there.
I have a whole series of questions where, hey, are you going to get hospitalized for it? Or are you okay
Yeah.
with, the biggest excuse is, are you okay with cross-contamination?
Sure.
And then you lead to, okay, now I understand where you're going. You don't like it. Not a problem. I will make it for you like that. I'm dairy intolerant, and you're asking me to make a lasagna. I'm like, I can do it for you, but
I
don't
can
ruin
do
everybody else.
something, but it won't be a lasagna.
I don't want to ruin everybody else's experience.
Yeah.
It'll look like a lasagna.
Yeah, we won't call it lasagna.
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like one of the bigger mind shift sets that you had to have going into private cooking or becoming a private chef was the flexibility aspect to it.
Yes.
I guess talk to us about that and how if somebody's thinking about making this step or going towards private cooking for people, what do they need to keep in mind from the mindset?
Okay. Number one, don't stress about forget about stressing out. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
I learned from experience. When people say, oh, but I was getting dinners and we have this and this and that, these restrictions, I would get a rage. I'll be like, why? Why are you allergic to that? Why are you born like that? Why? Tell me why.
Why do you have a shellfish allergy?
Why can't you have gluten? I'm bringing the flour from Italy. By the way, I bring the flour from Italy, from Puglia. So my flour won't be bad for you. But anyway, so don't freak out. And that comes into the planning. Plan the restriction menu, which can be easy and quick as a single dish or for 2, 3, 4 people. You say 3 ounces of this, 2 ounces of that. Create a whole dish, something that is good for everybody. And, like travel, go on YouTube, check videos, talk to other people. Always, go on whatever. Like I have recipes that are old school for us and we've been making, okay, do you know what a caponata is? Caponata is an eggplant side dish they do in Sicily. And when I made it one time, there was a chef, he's a Michelin chef I was working with. He looked at me and he said, "You made a vegan dish." I'm like, "I don't know, chef. This is caponata." Well, then I think about the ingredients and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Damn, yes, this is a vegan dish." He says, "This is the best thing ever." I said, "Well," I said, "Thank you." You know? Yeah.
You shouldn't
So,
have. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
you.
You
so
stumble
I'm like,
across these things. Like, you weren't intentionally doing that, but you're like, wow, actually, a lot of my recipes, like the cookies that I had of yours, I had no
yeah.
idea those were gluten-free. I
My
had no
friend
idea.
made me notice it. He says, "So how much?" They asked me for the recipe, and I don't have a problem. Another thing, I don't have a problem sharing things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sharing is growing. If you grow and you're happy and you do something for a client, then they'll book you for something huge and they're like,
Yeah.
"Alfredo, I need you. So you're giving me extra job. Like, please, we have an expression, one hand washes the other and both hands wash your face. So we got to help each other. So this write down menus, restrictions. The world now offers us so many products and ways of getting around or satisfy and help people who can't have that experience.
That's not something you should ever ask.
Why are you born like
why
that?
are you like you the way you
Like, ma come
are?
cazzo sei nato? Perché mi fai sta cosa? And they're like,
I
"Oh,
just
that
hope they're
sounds
not
so
fluent
nice."
in
You don't
Italian.
want to know what I just said, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, plan and write the menus down, restrictions, and it will make their life so much easier. Planning is always key to success. I never stop saying it.
So it seems like private chefing and kind of the private chef industry has grown quite a bit. And so do you see it like what from your perspective, the next 3 to 5 years, you're in a major metro area. Are there things that you're excited about as from private chefing that you see is going to be different or growing in the industry?
Well, yeah, definitely. I think that more and more people are gonna, even people who are kind of not cannot afford it, but
Hmm.
hey, listen, there's a lot of prep
Right.
meal done, okay, and that's a private chef working for you. He just doesn't come to your house and cook for you
Yeah.
at your place,
So
but
yeah,
he's just making food for you at his own house or his own kitchen or wherever he has a warehouse, and he's just coming and delivering your food. So that's also a branch of private chefing.
very true.
But it
Yeah.
would be nice also to get the industry back on the streets, the fun little restaurants, but small local places,
Yeah.
young kids with passion that just throw their lives away into, if, like you could rent a little spot for an affordable price and say, "Hey, that's not going to kill me. If something
Hmm.
goes wrong, I'm in debt for the rest of my life, but if it doesn't go wrong, perfect. I grew. I learned something." And then the little restaurant says, "Hey, listen, people like it. Can you come to my place and cook?" And then, yeah, okay, we're doing private events anyway. So that's how I see the industry, having new places, new spots. So this private chef industry, what's good about the private chef is that I'm going to your house. I don't have to pay rent. I don't have to pay a mortgage for a restaurant.
Right.
I have my own little private insurance just in case anything happens to me, but I don't have to pay employees. I don't have to run after people. I don't have to worry about whatever is stars and reviews. People like me, boom. They don't like me, they don't call me back. It's fine. I will always go somewhere else.
Hmm.
So
So it's
that's
a
what's also,
little less. It seems like it might be less stress, and from the logistics, you don't have employees, you don't have, or maybe you have one person that you bring with you, but you don't have software subscriptions or anything along those lines to worry
right.
about. You don't have to do payment processing dollars and transaction fees for the thousands of transactions you're doing. But I guess when you're open up a restaurant, everyone knows where to find you, and that's your part of your marketing. So I think it's almost like the budget shifts from all these logistical things you got to run a restaurant to now just marketing and getting the word out there that you exist and you're
Yeah.
available. And you miss that little boutique restaurant that was not part of a
Yes.
large
Yeah.
conglomerate. It can come to your house now. It can come
Yeah.
there.
Right. So we in Italian we call it la rosticceria. La rosticceria is that little boutique restaurant
Yeah,
that people can come, they
that
can
sounds
eat
so
there,
much
they can
nicer.
dine,
That sounds
and then la rosticceria, right? It's cute, you know?
Fancy.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then people are like, "Hey, listen, we're having an event. We're having, I don't know, an engagement party. We have 150, 200 people. Can you come and cover it?" Yes, I have some servers. I have my chefs. I've got the location already. I got the kitchen where I prep everything in my little restaurant, and then somebody just covers here. That day, you just prep some things, and the restaurant once they run out, they run out. I personally, I like it when a restaurant says, "Hey, listen, we sold out. It's 86."
Yeah,
I
me
like it.
too.
It was so good. Oh, wow. You're not just mass producing using who knows what ingredients, but hey, we
Yep.
get clean ingredients. We made a certain amount. It's finished. It's gone. I'm sorry. In Italy, we have that a lot. If you want a specific item, you have to call 2 months in advance and say, hey, when we're coming to dinner, we want that.
Or if you show up at 6:30, you're probably going to get the full menu. But if you show up at 8:30, 9 o'clock, there's a good chance. And I like that too. I like, it's like,
Yeah.
we're out of like 4 things. I'm like, well, good for you. Then you,
Well, it keeps the
Yeah.
quality, right?
yeah,
Because it's like,
fresh. Yeah.
we only get this much. It's quality, and we're not going to compromise on that. And it's also seasonal based, a lot of it. And so,
My God, yes.
right? It's
Yeah.
like, we kind of have forgotten about that in the US because it's like you can get anything you want almost at any season there is. Like, there actually is the right time to eat salmon, for example, but you can go to the grocery store every day. They've got salmon
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
my
What
local
about
grocery
tomatoes?
store.
You know,
Tomatoes,
like,
exactly. But
oh
they
my
just don't
God.
taste it. Like in the summer, though, it's like those are like the best tomatoes you're ever going to get for the entire season. Alfredo, this was great. We love talking to you. Before you go, we have a little on the fly round.
I need 2 on the fly.
First question, what's your favorite meal to cook for a client?
Lasagna.
That's a good one.
What's the most unexpected request a client has ever made?
Unexpected or unusual? Unexpected, you said.
Or unusual.
Or
You
either
could go
one.
take
Yeah.
either one.
Well, yeah. They wanted a whole seafood meal with no fish like anything. Like shellfish, mollusk, thin fish, or anything. I'm like, so what do you want me to do? Like just the juice? What is it that you want? Like, yeah, that
What did they want? What did you do in the end?
I made him a completely vegetarian meal.
Okay.
A vegetarian
They didn't want
seafood
red meat,
platter.
white meat,
Nice.
nothing. Yeah. Oh yeah, I used a lot of good vegetables, but I'm like,
Oh
okay.
my goodness.
I wanted to price them for a seafood meal. I wanted to price
Yeah.
them, but I'm like, okay, I won't. Forget
Come
it.
on, people.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. I'm thinking of those little crab sticks, the fake crab meat that you can get at the store. I'm like, maybe
My
you could have
goodness.
gone
My
that
God,
route.
yeah. The problem is that the person couldn't see my face. I'm a no filter person, no face.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, ew.
Yeah,
Like,
what
You're
is
like,
this?
what?
Yeah,
What?
they wanted it.
Okay.
I'm thinking fishy crackers that my daughter
Yeah.
used to.
Favorite thing you like to see when walking into someone's home kitchen?
Well, I would say 2, gas stove and pots and pans. I really want to see
I figured that was
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Knives, I bring my own.
Yeah.
that's
I
fair.
don't trust someone else's knives.
Is that what you would say, Spencer? Walking into someone's kitchen?
Yeah, I would say so. Gas stove is a game changer. We installed gas. I think maybe we moved in this house. I don't know. 2 months later, we had gas. Like it was like, I'm not dealing with this thing. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have electric. You both would hate doing an event in my kitchen.
You would.
Not by choice. Not by choice.
Cold meal for you. I'm only coming in the summer.
Yeah, right.
I've never used an induction stove before, so I'm
Really?
skeptical. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
the old metal coil electric. I know
Yeah.
the ins and outs of that. It's terrible. I don't know.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I guess what's the weirdest kitchen hack you secretly love? So some sort of secret hack that you've discovered, but you would never tell a client that how you did that.
It's I always as I said before, I always share things.
Right. Okay.
But I would say how to when you're prepared, for instance, you got a tenderloin, how you section your meats.
Mm.
The thickness is what determines then how consistent then it gets from the pan or from where you're grilling it to the dish that people eat. I would never tell them how, and because it never gets in their head. Because if you say, hey, you gotta remember, keep the tenderloin this thick always, they'll never get it.
Yeah.
So those
yeah.
are one of the things, like when people are like, oh, how do you do that? Magic.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
It's why you hire me and why you want me to come back to your house.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, thanks so much for being with us today, Alfredo. This was a really fun conversation.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you guys. It was really fun. Yes.
So You Want to Run a Restaurant is created by Back of House, produced and hosted by Claudia Sarek, with Nick Florick as executive producer. Marketing by Hillary Young and Ashley Dunn. Creative by Manisha Kishenchand. And live production by Sarah Heemstra. And of course me, your co-host, Spencer Michael. For more information, visit backofhouse.io/podcast.